After school, I wanted to be a banker because my mother was the first female accountant in the Standard Bank Ghana Limited those days. And then it became Standard Bank Ghana, whatever, and then it came to Stanchart. My father left us, so my mother took care of 4 of us. And our school fees was paid by standing orders. You know the bank. You put a standing order, so every month they put something in the school. So we were never sacked from school. But we didn't see affluence. It was not like that. We lived in a compound house. We lived with a landlady. You know, my mother was a fancy woman, Elmina. I was born in Adabraka. You put Elmina. I come from Elmina, but I was born in Adabraka. My mother would buy our stuff. Around this time, she started paying for our Christmas dresses, our St. Michael's panties, and all those things. So we dressed well. And obviously, a landlady wouldn't like you for that. So my mother, you know, had a lot of issues. And so we had to move to Dansoman. In 83, around 81, there was this woman, Auntie Frances. She was at Laboni. She baked bread. And she used to bring bread to Standard Bank. And my mother brought the bread home, and it was nice. So I told her, Mom, why don't you bring some so I will sell? Because when my friends come to me, they enjoy the bread, and I give to them for free. So I will sell to their parents. And she was like, are you sure? I said, yes. So she brought the bread. And I'll go to my friends' houses and sell the bread. And my mother made money out of it. So in 83, when there was so much hunger in Ghana, my mother resigned from the bank. Meanwhile, with all the money that she had bought a Dansoman house, so we had moved to Dansoman. She used the rest to put up a wall, and last stop was uncompleted because it started from first stop. And whilst people were at Sahara, the car would get to Sahara, and we'll have to walk from Sahara to last stop. It was quite a distance, but we had to live there. So in 83, my mother said she would stop the bank, and because my grandmother used to bake also. So she started baking. And that was when I saw my mother count money. When she was in the bank, we never saw her with money. The money is standing order. It is paying school fees and other things. But she comes home with nothing in the bag. But when she started baking, she would count money in boxes and would put on the table and arrange. I was in Accra Girls. I finished school. We went to Ajanzo. I'm like, no. I just went and I said, no, I don't want to be a secretary. My mother worked in the bank. She never counted money. Now she's baking and she's counting money. Should I go to secretariat and go and work in the bank and then not count money? No. I will do catering. And she didn't understand. Nobody understood me. This evening, I want to tell you, it is your passion. What drives you is what you have to go for. Don't just say, my friends are in the university, they are doing a subject I won't mention, maybe some of you are doing it. And then because you want to be there, you are just doing it. For what? Do what your heart tells you to do. I loved cake. I can cook even now. I can cook from morning till evening and I won't get tired. And I can cook any variety of dishes. And so I said, no, let me look for a school. My mother said, okay, then you go to School of Domestic Science and Catering. I went there, I said, no. And my friends were going to the Polytechnic. And I was looking at all the stuff that you buy to go to Poly. And yet you finish and you wouldn't even get in. You have to work in the hotel. I said, no, I don't want that one. So I left. Then I looked for Flair Catering Services. I went there, and it was like one term. I could bake almost everything that they come and order because corporate bodies would come and order, and we would go and serve. And I could bake anything. So in school, I started my business. At that time, Black Caesar was the club of the night, you know. So we used to go to Club Caesar at Circle, Dankwa Circle. And we used to make orders for him. Even as students, we'll make orders for him. He'll pay us and he'll serve in the disco. And my friends would come and make orders. So I started making money very early. And then we talked about mentorship. There's a woman, Efra Bamlabi. She runs a school, Mays Daycare Center. And my sister's daughter went there. And I didn't even know her, but I got to the school and it was like a dream I've had because I love children. So I just wanted to set up a school. I didn't know even how to start it. But when I got to the school, I said, this is what I wanted to do. Who did it before me? And secretly, I was admiring her. I started my catering. My sister was doing a national service at a passport office. Used to be at the beach. And I would bake. I didn't have money for a stove. So I used the kerosene stove. How many of you know the kerosene stove? The adults who, the younger ones won't know. You put fire on top there and you put the stove on the coal pot. And I would bake and sell at the passport office. And I'm telling you, if you know how much I was making from that, and I would dress to kill. And I wasn't buying from the shop, so we had a second hand. I'm talking to young ladies. A guy who will bring us second hand on Friday. We will wash on Saturday. The whole week, I would change like 3 times a day. And you see me on my high heels and my whatever. And Friday evening, he'll come for all the things that I've worn, take back to Kantamatu and sell and bring me new stuff. So every time, till today, I go to the shop and I buy with a price tag. If it is above a certain amount, there's no way I'll buy. I won't buy. Why should I buy a brand for somebody? I won't. I look for what will suit me. Even if it is 50 cedis and it looks good on me, I'll go for it. I don't buy because it is expensive. I don't buy because Gucci made it. Who is Gucci? I don't even know him. So make your own brand. So when I saw the school, I wanted to, whilst I was going to the passport office, one day at Adabraka, I just saw a nice shop. I passed. The next time, I stopped. I went into the shop. That is Melcom now, Adabraka. And they had nice things. So I said, wow, I haven't seen these things. What? So I started selecting. I buy 2 each. And I put in a taxi and I come home. And I'm selling them. I buy for 5 cedis. I sell for 15 cedis. But you pay 10 cedis before I credit you. So you pay the 5 cedis later. So even if you don't pay the 5 cedis, I'll fight with you. We still make friends and I sell again. Because I've made my money, I've made my 5 cedis. And my friends would come and they'll come and buy. Meanwhile, I never showed anybody where I bought the things. And I kept selling and making money. And I started running my school. I said I'll build a school. Madam Soman, we had a plot around the place. So I built in my mother's house. I asked for a trip of sand, assuming it was 20 cedis. Then somebody told me, if you hide a truck, it is 12 cedis. I've forgotten the amount, but I'm just saying. And then you go there and buy the sand. It is 4 cedis. So you make 4 cedis savings if you go there and buy it. But if you send a driver, it is 20 cedis. I said, really? I'll go to Odoko Tipa. I hide the truck, I sit in it. We go to the land side. We go to the land side. I want to buy sand, we pay. Then I said, driver, would you buy 16 cedis? So now bring me 4 more trips. Now I know the price. So I'm not paying 20 cedis again. And I save. And I buy iron rods and I buy cement and I started building. And I was saving with my mother. Somebody talked about savings. I was saving with my mother. Mind you, I would dress, but it is not expensive. I was eating from my mother. And I was also a caterer, so I could cook. And I saved and started my first school. And my school was such that anybody that brought a child, sometimes they shouldn't sleep, stay overnight. I have students who are doctors and engineers, and they see me and they're like, Mommy, you haven't changed. And I took care of them as my very own. If you are running a shop, run it as if, even if you are running for somebody, run as if it is for you. And my parents go to a shop to buy for Valentine's Day. She's a very rich woman. I'll mention her name here. She said Valentine's Day, she forgot about it, so she ran to the shop, Osu. She goes to where the watches are, and the young lady is like, oh, where do you we're ministers neto, into my main chill, baby. She just looked at the lady and said, oh, okay, Mati. And she went, and the moment she got to her car, and the lady saw her drive that car, she ran after her. Oh, madam, she said, eh. So she came to school the next day and said, Mommy, this is what happened to me. But when you come to my school for admission, it doesn't matter who you are. Once it is your money that is paying me to get money to pay my teachers, I give you all the attention. Every parent that I had a nice relationship with them. But you can't push me to the wall. My husband's secretary or whatever came, I didn't even know her. She came and wanted admission for her children. I received her, I talked to her, I served her and everything, nice conversation, and she would look at me and she would talk, and I saw her off to the gate. And she said, Mrs. Morrison, I am surprised that you are Mr. Morrison's wife. I said, why? She said, wow, my boss. I said, your boss? You work at Morrison & Associates? She said, yes. I know your husband. He is that high and I know you. And for you, I said, this is my business. This is not about Mr. Morrison. This is not about Mrs. Morrison. It is my business. So I'm telling you, what do you do? The relationship you have with your customers is what will sell you. So you'll be here, you'll be a corporate, whatever, you run whatever. If you don't have a good human relation, it won't get anywhere.